Why did the Philadelphia Eagles have smiles on their faces while the heavily favored Dallas Cowboys pouted and moaned? It was because a young Eagle defense led by brash Richard Harvey, number 41, was out-talking and out-hitting the Cowboys in the first half at Franklin Field. The first time Calvin Hill, number 35, touched the ball, he was gang tackled. Quarterback Roger Staubach was rushed, bruised, and intimidated into errors. The Eagles' secondary boxed in and battered Cowboy receivers coming across the middle and swarmed on fumbles in waves. Inspired and unyielding, the Philadelphia defense outthought and outplayed the complex Dallas offense in the first half. The Eagles' attack mystified Dallas' doomsday defense, and on two passes from Norm Snead to Ben Hawkins, Philadelphia took a 7-0 lead. The Dallas Cowboys finally awoke late in the first half and began to hit to hurt. Cowboy linebackers like number 56, Tom Stensick, read Norm Snead's mind and his eyes and made drive-killing interceptions that ruined their chances for an upset. Led by Calvin Hill, who rushed for 117 yards, the Dallas offense asserted its dominance over the tough-hitting Eagles. Lance Rensel, number 19, roamed free and easy through Philadelphia's zone defense. But the real hero for Dallas was Roger Staubach, whose ability to improvise on the run turned losses into big gains, defeat into victory. Staubach's scrambles bedazzled and dazed the Eagles, who found it as hard to touch him as to tackle him. Staubach's trips left the Eagles dizzied and depressed. Roger Staubach passed sparingly, but when he did, it was effective as the Cowboys ran off with a surprisingly tough 17-7 victory over the Eagles.
In Dallas, New York Giants head coach Alex Webster primed his defense to stop Cowboy quarterback Roger Staubach. The lusty hitting Giants wrapped every Dallas running back in sight and caused the computer-like Cowboys to lose their cool. Walt Garrison, number 32, learned never to turn his back on the aroused Giants. The Giants secondary double-covered number 22 Bob Hayes, and Spider Lockhart alertly intercepted Staubach's underthrown pass and whirled past the wheezing Cowboys. While the Giants' defense was intimidating Dallas receivers, Fran Tarkington, number 10, shrewdly manipulated the New York attack. He either threw under the touchdown-conscious Dallas secondary or alertly turned busted plays into long gains. Giants built a 10-0 halftime lead when Ron Johnson followed number 65 Pete Case over linebacker Leroy Jordan for a touchdown. But Giant hopes for an upset fizzle in the second half as the methodical Cowboys manhandled Tarkington and the Giants. The Cowboys were sparked by Cliff Harris, number 43, a rookie safety from Ouachita University, who intercepted 2 passes, recovered a fumble, and burned out 2 computers trying to locate Ouachita University for the New York Giants scouts. The Cowboys' first score resulted from blocks by number 84, Pettis Norman, and number 72, Tony Liscio, and Calvin Hill's power running. Walt Garrison never looked back in anger as he cut behind number 70, Rayful Wright's crushing block on Ken Parker, and cruised 18 yards to a touchdown. Leading 14-10, the Dallas Cowboys unveiled a weird flanker reverse pass from Lance Rensel to Bob Hayes that traveled 56 yards to a touchdown. The usually unemotional Cowboys, inspired by the Mod Rensel and driven by Staubach, scored a final time when Jolly Roger speared Bob Hayes with a bullet as the Dallas Cowboys' 4 touchdowns in the second half buried New York 28-10. On Sunday, it was a short trip from the sun in St. Louis to the surf in Dallas. The Atlanta Falcons should have traded their cleats in for water wings as the monsoon season struck early and turned the Cotton Bowl into a fish bowl, where the artificial turf was magically transformed into Astro Surf. Both Falcon and Cowboy setbacks would have preferred lifeguards instead of referees because the surf was up in Dallas. Number 20, Tom McCauley, resembled Willie Mays, making a mad dash for home plate and sliding safely under the tag. Usually sure-footed, Calvin Hill had a hard time adapting to the Astro Surf until he remembered his track and field days at Yale and brought the hop, step, and jump into pro football. Both quarterbacks wisely threw sparingly. Receivers looked like they were trying to catch a greased pig instead of a pigskin. Cowboy quarterback Craig Morton was usually on target, but the elusive ball kept mystifying his receivers. Both Morton and his receivers remained stubborn. He kept right on passing, and they kept right on missing them. While the Dallas offense fell flat on its back, Coach Ernie Staudtner outlined a defense that gave the Cowboys their first shutout since 1961. Linebacker Leroy Jordan, number 55, waded through blockers to shut off the run, while defensive end George Andre, number 66, showed Cannonball Butler what a wipeout means when applied to football. Finally, the Dallas offense caught up with its defense as Lance Rensel wisely used his chest, not his hands, and slid through the surf for a touchdown. Final score, Wales 13, Porpoises nothing. In Kansas City, the Chiefs relied on their time-tested general Lynn Dawson, while Dallas looked to rookie setback Dwayne Thomas to supply the elusive magic needed for a big-game victory. Both teams possessed identical 3-2 records, and both have looked less like champions with each passing week. Though for both teams this game was a test of their temper and their talent, Kansas City was a big favorite. In the past, the Chiefs have always been ready for big games. The Cowboys have not. History's cruel repetition seemed to stamp Dallas losers as Kansas City took an early lead 7-0 on Ed Podolak's touchdown sweep. Defensively, Kansas City's Big Red Marauders mashed and manhandled quarterback Craig Martin. They crushed his spirit and his body, and Dallas seemed dead. But in the second half, the corpse awoke, wearing number 33 in white. Rookie Dwayne Thomas revived Dallas when he sprinted 47 yards on a draw play. Another view shows that Kansas City was unaware and unprepared for Thomas's speed as he blazed and limp-legged his way to a score. Thomas, who gained over 130 yards rushing against one of the toughest teams to run against in football, had a 74-yard screen pass called back by penalty. But it mattered little because today the Cowboys had a reservoir of surprises and speed. Craig Morton caught the Chiefs in a multiple blitz and lobbed a pass to Bob Hayes. It was an 89-yard foot race between Hayes and the Chiefs' fastest man, Emmett Thomas. It was a mismatch. Leading 27-10, the Dallas defense towed out and flamed in on Lynn Dawson. The Chiefs' multiple offense and moving pocket melted from the heat of an alert Cowboy secondary led by number 20 Mel Renfro. Kansas City inched back in the last quarter as its high-flying defense and two Jan Stenerud field goals combined to cut the Cowboy lead to 11 points, 27-16. But in the end, it was Lynn Dawson flat on his back in the blackness of his own end zone as Dallas conceivably collected the most important victory in its history, 27-16.
A rematch with the Eagles saw Lance Rensel dust off Philadelphia's defense. Twice, Rensel ran free and easy through the Eagles' leaky zone for scores. But Dallas was an undistinguished victor, 21-17. The Cowboys were 5-2 and apparently sleepwalking to a division title when time caught up with them in the big city.
Giants rode on Fran Tarkenton's blazing hot arm, and Dallas was branded losers again. The Cowboys collapsed into third place behind the resurgent Giants, and then were struck dead in the dark in a sundown shootout with the St. Louis Cardinals. Network television was a witness to the massacre as the Cardinals' merry-go-round turned Dallas into cannon fodder with their circle games. In one night, Dallas endured a season's worth of frustration, shut out under the stars.
There were two contests up for grabs in Washington, a shootout and a chew-out between the Redskins and Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys won both duels as they chewed up Washington 45-21. People ask, how can the Redskins lose? They boast the leading rusher in pro football, Larry Brown, number 43. And the NFL's top receiver, Charlie Taylor, number 42, who can turn up a 10-yard square out into a touchdown. To add to this impressive arsenal, they have quarterback Sonny Jurgensen's buggy whip arm, a weapon that connected for 3 touchdowns against Dallas. One went to tight end Jerry Smith. The second to lonesome Larry Brown. And the third, a deflection from Mel Renfro to John Henderson. Why does Washington lose? Not because they suffer the improbable happening of a Chuck Howley fumble return, but because their defense cannot cope with an offense that can score suddenly and often. On Sunday, they could not cope with rookie Dwayne Thomas, who was knocked out on the opening kickoff, but returned to score 3 times and rushed for over 100 yards. Thomas has the power to blast free from traffic and the speed to burn by defenders with a tackling angle. Probably the most encouraging sign to troubled Tom Landry was the way his quarterback, Craig Morton, turned Washington pressure into big gains. Morton found his receivers with deft lobs or scorchers like this connection with Lance Rensel. The Cowboys even turned misfortune into a score when Mark Washington fumbled and dribbled a Redskin kickoff and then spurted 99 yards to a touchdown. The Cowboys had not only avenged their previous week's humiliation by the St. Louis Cardinals, but remained in serious contention for the title in the NFL.
In Dallas, a wind that gusted up to 40 miles an hour deflated the offensive sails of the Packers and the Cowboys and blew away the few hairs left on Ray Nitschke's head. For the Cowboys, this game meant their survival or death in the competitive NFC East. For most of the game, Packer pride pulverized the Cowboy attack and once denied Dallas 3 times inside the 2-yard line. Unfortunately for the Packers, their conservative offense could not measure up to their defense, as their quarterback Bart Starr took a fierce beating from the highly motivated Cowboys. The Cowboys collapsed Starr's protective pocket around him, and neither desire nor deception could stem the Dallas rush. For the past 2 weeks, a cool Craig Morton has turned imminent disasters into big gains for Dallas. Against Green Bay, Morton used Bob Hayes as an outlet receiver and as a long-range missile to cut through the Packers' deep defense. Dallas used 3 Mike Clark field goals and a well-disguised end-around by Hayes to storm by Green Bay 16-3 and keep in contention with the division-leading St. Louis Cardinals. In Dallas, the Cowboys dominated every phase of their game with the Washington Redskins and registered a shutout victory. For Dallas, it started with the special teams. 2 weeks ago, rookie Mark Washington, number 46, ran back a kickoff 96 yards for a touchdown against the Redskins. On Sunday, Washington came within a couple of strides of breaking another. Bob Hayes created the most excitement when he went on a weaving 70-yard odyssey with a Mike Bragg punt. Unfortunately for Hayes, a penalty canceled his flirtation with the spectacular. On defense, Dallas nullified every Redskin ruse. They ran roughshod over the crippled Washington attack and did not allow a first down in the second half. Without their league-leading rusher Larry Brown, the Redskins could not run. Without star receiver Charlie Taylor, they couldn't pass deep either, as the scavengers of the Dallas secondary picked Sonny Jurgensen clean. On offense, Dallas was equally devastating. Even passes put up for grabs were claimed by Cowboy receivers. The Dallas offense was so well-tuned, they turned a 1st and 42 situation into a first down. The Cowboys scored with seeming ease. Quarterback Craig Morton found a completely uncovered Walt Garrison for 1 touchdown. And running back Dan Reeves found the end zone flag for another. The Cowboys rushed for over 270 yards against Washington and crushed them 34-0. Next week is Cleveland, and for Dallas, a chance for first place in the highly competitive NFC East. In Cleveland, both the Cowboys and Browns faced the fact that a loss meant almost certain elimination for a playoff berth. A rain-muddied field made almost routine plays hazardous. The quagmire induced both teams to engage in a soggy theater of the absurd. The slippery ball made catches by both receiver and defender almost impossible, and once gave number 34 Mike Howell a chance to do his imitation of a waterlogged whippoorwill in flight. To end his act, Howell exited stage left with the latest dance step, the combination secondary stomp and goose step. With it all, Cleveland took an early 2-0 lead when Bob Hayes misplayed a punt, then compounded his misfortune by being trapped in the end zone for safety. For the second straight game, the Cowboys defense, led by their all-pro tackle Bob Lilly, number 74, did not allow a point. Although double, triple, and even quadruple teamed, Lilly usually managed to get a piece of Cleveland quarterback Bill Nelson. Though Cleveland owned all the statistics, Dallas dominated them when a big play was really needed. At times, Bill Nelson led Dallas a merry chase. He was superb in the goo and passed for over 300 yards. But once inside of the Dallas goal, Cleveland seemed to come apart. Once, with a 4th and 1 at the Cowboy 11, the Browns disdained 3 points and came away with nothing. Another time, Cleveland receiver Gary Collins interfered with cornerback Herb Adderley, and a penalty denied the Browns a score. But the biggest play of the game occurred in the 4th quarter when Nelson's connection with Collins was spoiled by a fumble that was alertly recovered by Chuck Howley in the Cowboys' end zone. Dallas combined their luck with 2 Mike Clark field goals and defeated Cleveland 6-2. For the Browns, the final seconds told the probable end of a long, disappointing season.
In Dallas, the Cowboys and Oilers met for the pro football title of Texas. But more important also at stake were Dallas' playoff hopes. The Oilers' only touchdown resulted when Calvin Hill fumbled into Johnny Peacock's hands. But Peacock's 41-yard touchdown came on a Dallas offensive error as the Cowboy defense didn't give up a touchdown for the 4th straight week. Dallas got the game's first break when Charlie Waters intercepted an Oiler razzle-dazzle. Before the game, Waters had said that playing alongside Herb Adderley, Mel Renfro, and Cornell Green, even his wife could do well, and with the kind of pressure exerted by the Dallas line, Mrs. Waters indeed might have had a good game. The Dallas defense set up the game's first touchdown, a 52-yard strike, Craig Morton to Reggie Rucker. Rucker's touchdown was his first as a pro, and on his celebration run back to the bench, he exhibited more moves than he had on the play itself. The ex-world's fastest human is the other Cowboy wide receiver. On this play, Bob Hayes remembered to hold on to his head, but forgot to hold on to the ball. Hayes' bobble didn't dissuade Morton from using him again, and a 38-yard touchdown became the start of the Bob Hayes show. It was one of 4 Morton to Hayes scoring bolts, and brisk Bob wrapped up his show with a 38-yard dive and roll. Hayes allowed other Cowboys a chance to score, too. A Dallas punt was bobbled, batted, kicked, and dribbled to the 2-yard line from where Calvin Hill dove in. The final Dallas touchdown was set up by Steve Kiner's interception. Claxton Welch fought 5 yards for the score, which wrapped up a 52-10 whopping. Coupled with New York's loss to the Rams, the Cowboy victory brought the NFC East Division title to Dallas, much to the delight of overjoyed Cowboy head coach Tom Landry.
God dang it, let's go! Come on! Come on now! Get over!
Against Detroit, it was not a day for offense, but another day for the defense.
Come on, D, let's go, baby! All right, D, let's go defense, baby! Come on, people! Come on, hold them, hold them, hold them! Go, Bob. We get the ball now. We got 2 minutes. That's it. It ain't over yet, Ron. We got to get it and go now. All right, D. Big play now. Let's go. Pick it up, Charlie. Just pick it up. Guys, let's go, baby. Come on, Bob. Let's go. Come on, George. Come on. Last play of the game. Come on, Bob. Let's go. Get him, Bob. George, get the lead. Let's go. Come on. Come on! Let's go, Herbie, let's go! One more play, let's go! Come on, you're it, baby, let's go! Please, please.
Now only the 49ers stood between Dallas and something they had never won, the NFC championship.
In motion left. This is Dwayne Thomas. And the Cowboys have crossed into 49er territory at the 48-yard line, where Mel Phillips moved the brilliant first-year running back out of bounds. This is Dwayne Thomas. And he's out close to a first down around the 30-yard line. Out across the 35 to around a 37-yard line. Again, it's Dwayne Thomas. To the outside comes Thomas, and he might have fallen forward enough for a first down at the 42-yard line. It's in the secondary. A screen to Dwayne Thomas. And he has a first down at the 49er 44-yard line, where he's collared by linebacker Dave Wilcox. Here goes Thomas again. Out of bounds. 33-yard line. It's another Dallas first down. Thomas. And he's down to the 26-yard line. Here he goes again. And he's close to a first down around the 23-yard line. Rucker to the right. Hayes to the left. This is Dwayne Thomas. He's at the 19-yard line. And Dan Reeves holding from 21 yards for Clark. And we have a tie ball game. And Ted Qualick, number 82, is in. And Brody is reached by the Cowboy defensive unit for the first time today and dropped inside the 15, and it was linebacker Dave Edwards. Backs. Intercepted, linebacker Leroy Jordan. The ball was tipped, I believe, as it was thrown, and the Cowboys have a first down on the first interception of the game. There goes Rucker in motion. Here is Thomas. Touchdown. Dwayne Thomas puts the Cowboys in front by a score of 9-3.
And Thomas is 33. Garrison is leading 32. Just see how many times he gets hit. Well, he makes a great cut right there, and somebody got an arm on him. There he breaks one. Now Bruce Taylor has a shot. That's Jimmy Johnson from the other side, who also has a shot. So
Cowboys 10, 49ers 3, and we'll be back with the Dallas kickoff in just a moment. 2nd and 6. Fake was to Willard. Intercepted by Renfro. He's at the 30. He's at the 38-yard line. And Mel Renfro turns the ball over to the Cowboys. Yard line. This is Hayes in motion. And here goes Dwayne. Nope, this Walt Garrison. And he has a first down all the way out to midfield. A gain of 12. Hayes in motion left. And the blitz is on. This is Garrison. He's at midfield. He's at the 40-yard line, and he might have a Dallas first down on 2nd and 23. Here comes Thomas. He's picked up about 6 yards on first down. Thomas, first down. He's inside the 30. Thomas is a wingback left. This is for Hayes. Penalty marker. Mel Phillips defending.
not too much question about this.
Hey, this is Walt Garrison. Walt Garrison for the Dallas touchdown. And the Cowboys are on top by 13.
And a great fake by Morton to Dwayne Thomas is what sets this up. Watch Morton. The fake to Thomas. And Garrison, who was the other setback, is all by his lonesome.
17-3 Cowboys. Will be back with the Dallas kickoff in just a moment. The fake was to Thomas. The pass is to Garrison. And he's inside the 20. The ball is ruled to have been dead. A penalty marker is at the 30-yard line. Garrison in motion. Here is Thomas. First down. Fumble. And the Cowboys get it back.
His town and his title. He tried valiantly, but time, the Grim Reaper, finally ran out on the San Francisco 49ers, who must wait till next year. For the Dallas Cowboys, it was yet another chapter in their storybook climb to glory. And Coach Tom Landry, the much maligned head of his team, happily left Kezar Stadium knowing that he indeed had the last laugh at his critics, who said you can't win calling plays from the sidelines. Landry has found that by parlaying a tenacious defense with an unstoppable running attack, he could overcome any deficiency, while somehow keeping the emotional tenor of his team a confident winning one that has brought Dallas its first championship, and one that could bring the Cowboys an even bigger trophy called the Super Bowl. If he can do it for one more game, Landry will have resurrected his team from its midseason grave to become pro football's world champion, an impossible dream come true.
In San Francisco, a season's struggles bore sweet fruit. The defense broke open a 3-3 tie by twice turning over the ball to an offense that converted these gifts into touchdowns. Mel Renfro made the cornerback's classic play to set up the 49ers for the killing blow. A first down pass from Craig Morton to Walt Garrison bent the will of San Francisco. And with time dying, the Doomsday defense broke John Brody's last straw, and Dallas won 17-10. For the first time, another team walked off in sorrow, while the Dallas Cowboys took the magic carpet ride of champions. For Dallas, the third day of January 1971 was truly
Happy New Year! Happy New
Well, it feels, you can't imagine how it feels, because you never suffered with us like we've suffered, you know, in those losses in the last 4 years. It's a great reward for these fellows who worked so hard to get there.